Senator Booker, before you go, I did want to ask you about the debate last night because the crime bill came up and criminal justice reform was discussed a lot during the debate. And I wanted to ask you what you think about the records of President Trump versus Biden on criminal justice reform. Who has the better record, and how do you think Biden would handle criminal justice reform better than Trump has?
Look, I've talked a lot about criminal justice reform, as you know, and led efforts in the Senate to get a bipartisan bill done that President Trump did indeed sign. But to compare these two men on their criminal justice reform efforts is stunning to me, because Donald Trump is a guy that came into the White House and immediately had his attorney general rip up all of the more humane practices that were going on. Remember, it was the Trump Justice Department that ended protections for African Americans, civil rights protections for African Americans. They they sent memos out to prosecutors all across the United States, U.S. attorneys all across the United States, that they should end the Obama era sane charging policies when it came to nonviolent drug offenders, and to charge the highest possible charges for nonviolent drug offenses. We saw turns on everything from marijuana. Marijuana is a significant. The war on drugs the war on marijuana has a significantly racial disproportionate impact, because there's no difference between blacks and whites for using marijuana, selling marijuana, but African Americans are almost 4 times more likely to be arrested for it. And if you think people still aren't getting arrested for it, under the Trump administration in 2017, there were more marijuana possession arrests in America than all violent crime arrests combined. This is an administration that has done nothing on policing reform. And I can go on and on and on about this administration's outright hostility towards fairness and equity within the criminal justice system. But let me say something about Biden. Biden was in the White House and a partner of Barack Obama that did the 21st Century Task Force on Policing, where they brought people together, not just from different political sides. They brought together big city police chiefs and Black Lives Matter folks to come up with one of the most exciting and innovative set of recommendations for police reform, agreed to by, as I said, leaders in the police world. And none of these recommendations have been implemented. Those recommendations would make policing in America safer and more accountable and more transparent. When Joe Biden was there, I worked with their office, with the White House, on a number of different efforts around criminal justice reform and the kind of executive measures that they took to try to deal with policing, including the consent decrees that the Justice Department was actively engaged in. And I know this personally because I was mayor of the city of Newark when we entered into a consent decree with the Obama-Biden Justice Department. And so to me, it's not even debatable. I can give you a lot more evidence about how much more enlightened Biden is, not on what he's saying he will do, but what he was engaged in and doing as a part of the Obama-Biden White House. And I will say this finally, as Donald Trump continues to evoke my name to scare Americans. He said Cory Booker is going to ruin the suburbs, which is very difficult, Josh, for a guy who actually grew up in some of America's best suburbs. No disrespect to the rest of my state, but Bergen County, I could not have thought of a better place to grow up than Harrington Park and Old Tappan High School. Josh, did I say that we were the 1986?
I heard you were the champs, and it's why I'm so excited that you're moving back.
Yeah, my childhood house is up on the market, and don't think that I haven't looked.
Is that true?
It is actually true.
Wait, boyhood home. It's got to be preserved.
I will say that. So let me finally just say that one of the things that is making race issues more difficult in this country is we have a president. I'm Exhibit A. That continues to try to scare Americans, make us hate each other, suspicious of each other, divide us. This whole Facebook Live is about empathy and compassion and decency towards each other. I hunger for us to get back to that. I hunger for us, Josh, as a nation, to really get back to what your colleague, John Lewis, said, Josh, and I know you were so deeply influenced by working with him more closely than even I got to on the other side of the Capitol. But we've got to make America again, we've got to make America more so of a beloved community.